This year's Black History Month theme is African Americans and the Arts. And in the city of Charlotte, there is a venue where folks can come and celebrate diverse artists of all expressions. We're talking about visual art, musical performance. They do this in a spot that in itself is a lesson in Charlotte's Black history. So tonight we take a tour of Brooklyn Collective, one of the few remaining structural reminders of Charlotte's so-called city within a city, the predominantly Black historic Brooklyn.
At the corner of Brevard and 3rd in Uptown's 2nd Ward sits a trio of spaces dedicated to the love of art.
You can see they're coming in on the carriages, right?
And honoring the history of a neighborhood once called Brooklyn.
It was really a self-contained community. It had its own banks, its own grocery stores, its own theaters. It was bustling.
Brooklyn Collective Executive Director Monique Douglas says today, this art gallery, the neighboring Society at 229 Music Space, and the Grace Performance Art Space now sit on what was the anchor of the predominantly Black self-sustaining community.
South Brevard Street, which is what we're sitting on, was actually coined as the Black Wall Street of Charlotte during that era, those eras. And so this neighborhood was huge. It was so big, they referred to it as a city within the city.
After the 1970s, that city was no more. Historians say the discriminatory lending practice called redlining and a rezoning of the neighborhood as industrial led to its decline, the targeting for urban renewal, and the eventual razing of Brooklyn and displacement of its residents.
Many of today, what they refer to as the corridors of opportunity in our city, really the very seat of those corridors and the beginnings came from the neighborhood of Brooklyn.
Douglas says that painful history drives today's mission of using Brooklyn's lessons toward a more positive and inclusive future, taking what are two of the only 4 remaining Brooklyn buildings and carrying on the intentions of their former occupants, cultivating community.
The arts is such a beautiful way to bring people together, to learn about cultures, for them to have meaningful discussions.
The goal is that with every stroke painted, verse sung, and melody melded, Brooklyn Collective creates a collection of new connections where before there were none.
You just don't know what the possibilities are. And so that's what we want people to think of when they come in here. They're like, this is the place where I'm gonna collide with. I don't know who I'm gonna collide with today.
And so this month, the art gallery opened a new exhibition. It's called Bookends, Holding Up the Middle, as they should. And so it features works by 6 Black fine artists. 2 are legacy artists, 2 are mid-career artists, and then there are 2 who are emerging. And so really it's meant to spark a discussion about the struggle of Black artists to be recognized as fine artists.
Beautiful things in there and beautiful people
to
hear and listen to as well. Look for this article in the WCNC Charlotte mobile app where we can link you to the details on that and other events that Brooklyn Collective has planned. What a cool space to host that stuff into as well. Yeah. Great story. Well, all month long, we are shining a light on incredible stories of Black achievement, including some of the often forgotten history during the civil rights movement, or maybe some of the stuff that we don't even know. Tonight at 10:30 on WCNC Plus, watch our documentary celebrating Black excellence. It's available on your preferred streaming device.